Ladies and gentlemen, there is an old saying, don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining. Ready for the show.
Recorded live right here in Little Rock, Arkansas. It's time again for Larry's Rants, Raves, and Reviews. Now here's Larry.
Well, you have to wonder what secrets lie in the Epstein files and why is the government still hiding this? Well, this could be an explosive episode to dive into the sealed documents, the missing names, the silent protectors behind one of the most covered up scandals of our generation. Now, let me start out with this. I'm a huge fan of President Trump. So are you, right, Randy?
You bet.
And I think he's doing a fabulous job. He is accomplishing so much. He's trying to salvage our country from the radical, communist, anti-American politicians that has seized control over our country for years. The communist regime has taken decades to destroy our wonderful country, and Trump is quickly making great progress in changing our country back into the one that we once loved. And I've got to tell you, that's why I am amazed at the stance that Trump has suddenly taken about the Epstein files.
Yeah, I am too. That was a surprise.
It really is. And with all the wonderful accomplishments that he's made in his first 6 months, and we'll cover those in a future episode fairly quick, I'm afraid, Randy, that all of them are fading into the shadows of the Epstein cover-up. I mean, let's face it, it's really, a lot of his accomplishments are falling away. A guy by the name of Wayne Root says that Trump gives up the best first 6 months of any president in history and the best week ever. But the Epstein announcement threatens it all. MAGA is hanging in the balance. Well, that's what he has to say. And I'm not so afraid that he's not too far off.
Yeah, no.
He said, I need to warn President Trump about trouble brewing that threatens his presidency, his legacy, and the future of MAGA. And by the time, he says, he goes on to say, by the time that he's done, he stands a chance to be the GOAT, the greatest of all times. And you know, I'm agreeing with the guy. But he said, I'm sorry for not buying into it. It looks silly. It looks arrogant. It looks like a cover-up. It looks like President Trump is protecting evil leaders in D.C. who are being blackmailed by the deep state, and this is serious. Mm-hmm. Well, his report could go on, but I won't delve into it any further. But Randy, my first question is why was the entire files and evidence ever hidden and sealed anyway?
Right. That's the thing is, I mean, how long has it been? 4, 5, 6 years?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Why didn't Biden release it? Why didn't he let it go?
Exactly.
If there was so much in there or whatever, why didn't he let it go?
They say there's millions of files. So, you know, and I've got to say.
Yeah, and who's tampered with them between now and then?
That is a big
6
question.
6 years to tamper with them.
Absolutely. I totally and completely agree. And my comment on this, I'll answer my own question. This is a systematic government cover-up that will linger on just like the JFK cover-up for years.
Yeah.
For years, we have all had beliefs and different theories about the JFK assassination, and we still do. And they will continue until we get a rock-solid answer.
Well, the Russian documents were false.
Yes.
All of that they wrote up, and they put, you know, and they wanted everybody to believe it was true.
Yeah.
And everybody, you know, thought it was, and all this for so long.
Yep.
But you know who wrote that up?
Absolutely.
They're coming out. It's all over the press, you know, this week on it.
That is a very hot topic.
Hey, you would have seen us for show 14. We had talked about all that. That's old history for us.
We did, didn't we?
Yes.
So why is our government deceiving us? This is truly another government-controlled cover-up, just like the JFK assassination.
Yeah.
It reeks of the new grassy knoll for this generation. Mm-hmm. It really does. This type of behavior, the corruption, is why we, the people, do not trust our government. Ladies and gentlemen, if you trust your government, I think you're stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you to your face, I think you're dumber than dirt if you trust this crazy government. And I've got to say, we expected more out of Trump.
Yeah.
We never expected Trump to behave like this. Remember, folks, I'm a big Trump's fan. But I've got to tell you, it would have been much better off for Trump to have released all the files for everyone to see than to get upset with us and tell us we need to get over the Epstein files and that we need to move on.
I know, especially when he said he's going to do it, he's going to do it, he's going to do it. The only thing I can say is there's something we don't know, because Trump's a chess player, man. And he's probably got something waiting on the back pawn behind a certain pawn,
Randy,
that he's going to pull out.
Randy, have you read my notes?
No, are we on the same page? I hadn't read anything. No.
Honestly, yeah.
No,
Randy won't read any notes about our program.
He sends me all this. I said, Larry, I ain't going to read all that. This is ad-lib, man.
I almost killed him one time, and he's like, nah. So
there is. There's something behind that third pawn that he's going to pull out of his hat.
I think you're right. He
always does.
I think you're right. Let's take a look at this. The headline says, Trump says he doesn't understand why his supporters want the Epstein files. Only pretty bad people, including fake news, want to keep something like this going, and says he's willing to release credible information. Exactly what you were saying, right?
That's right.
He said this at a Andrews Base press conference. He said, "Don't forget that we all went through the Mueller witch hunt and all the different things, which was all fake. All of this information was fake." And he said, "This is pretty boring stuff. It's sordid, but it's boring." Well, I got to tell you, there's and I've listed here about 6 different reasons why we want this, President Trump. We love you. We trust you. But here's some reasons why we want them. People want to know who the pedophiles that Epstein associated with were and why they continue to walk free. Mm-hmm. I think that's number 1. Number 2, people want to know what extent the U.S. government or foreign governments were involved with Epstein and running a blackmail operation. Another reason is people want to know why Epstein reportedly visited the Oval Office when Clinton was president at least 17 times, and what, if anything, Bill Clinton did to the young girls.
Yeah. Well, you know, he went over there quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. He sure did.
He had his private seat on the plane.
People want to know why Virginia, one of the most prominent accusers of Jeffrey Epstein and his associates, Maxwell, was found dead by suicide on Friday at her farm in Australia.
Right. Yeah.
It's an answer I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Something we'd like to have talked about. Don't tell me it's nothing. Don't tell me it's boring. Don't try to tell Virginia's family that it's all boring. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not buying into it. As I said at the beginning of the show, don't pee down my back and tell me it's raining.
Right.
Number 5, people want the truth about the bizarre circumstances surrounding Epstein's alleged suicide. And then I would finally say, President Trump, you indicated while running for president that you would release the Epstein files, saying a lot of big people went to that island. Well, we the people want to know who the big people are.
Yep.
We, the people, deserve to know the truth. He went on Truth Social and posted, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to reduce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. Well, folks, I understand what President Trump is actually saying to us. He is saying that with all the Russia scandal, with all the garbage that the liberal Communist Party has put on him and different things, that they've been in, like you said, Randy, they've been in charge of all these files. They've washed these files. They've done a lot of stuff. But there's millions of pages of stuff that's still out there that could be released. So let me play into your hand. You were my straight man there. Unless Trump has acted this way to draw the liberal left out, making demands that the files got released so he could point the finger and say, well, you demanded to see him.
Right.
It's your fault. So, yeah, he's a chess player, like you said, and that could be what he's doing. You know, Bill O'Reilly went on News Nation here, says Bill O'Reilly destroys Hakeem Jeffries for demanding the release of the Epstein files under Trump. All of a sudden, he called him to the carpet on the double standard. Now, he went on to say, now this is Bill O'Reilly, he went on to say, this is what infuriates me about these people. Jeffries knew the Biden administration had exactly the same thing the Trump administration has on Epstein, and not one time did Jeffries call for any release of the Biden Justice Department. Not once.
No.
He said, so this guy is nothing but a top phony. He's a political player. He doesn't want to care about the truth. He doesn't care about the people.
It just shows you that Biden wasn't running the country anyways.
No, he wasn't. We all know that, and it's coming out more and more. Now, Bill O'Reilly said that I've talked personally, man to man, eye to eye on St. Patrick's Day with President Trump, and he said, there's a lot of names associated with Epstein that had nothing to do with Epstein's conduct. O'Reilly added, they maybe had lunch with them or maybe had some correspondence for one time or another, but these people, and so what really Trump is saying, there's a lot of, what he said to Bill O'Reilly is there's a lot of names on the list that if we release it, you know for a fact that the Communist Party of America is going to smear every name on there.
Sure.
Now, I would say that due to his behavior over this, people have speculated that he was involved himself. President Trump was involved somehow.
I wonder if they'll smear Clinton. Would they smear him?
You know, it could be that the new regime that has taken over that Democratic Party, like AOC and different ones, they could be done with the Clinton era and decided he could be our sacrificial lamb. If they could reach and get Trump somehow, okay,
interesting,
or plenty of people, they may be willing to screw him. Well, take a look at the Clintons. Remember when Hussein, absolutely obscure, person, we didn't know Barack Hussein Obama over nobody.
Right.
We're like, who? But all of a sudden, when he was the chosen one that Soros wanted to put in office and steal the election and plant him there to destroy America, what happened? They screwed Hillary Clinton every which way they could, shoved her in the closet and said, you sit there.
Your time's next.
Yeah.
Your time's not coming. Wait 8 years.
Or your time is done. Yeah. The liberals have made a big deal out of a birthday party that Trump sent to Epstein, or not a party, but a birthday card. And plenty of wealthy people once had a relationship with Epstein due to his money management talent. But then, one by one, they began to suspect something was off and began to divorce themselves from him. So Trump, I got to tell you that Trump was on the island one time, according to the records.
Trump was?
Trump was there one time.
Wow.
His wife and daughter accompanied him on that trip.
Huh. Interesting.
That was it. One time.
Huh.
So while all the liberals would like to pin the cover up on Trump's involvement, it simply could not be true. But Randy, this story is much bigger than we think.
Oh, it always is.
I got to tell you, buddy, I've listened to far more. I'm just going to go ahead and admit, I've probably listened to 8 to 10 hours of podcast on nothing but Epstein.
Well, I know it's all over.
And I got to tell you, my mind is spinning.
Yeah.
my gut spinning because of some of the sickness. But everybody has a theory and a belief and an idea, just like the JFK case, and I doubt we'll ever know the real truth. But here's what I'm going to say, and I've learned this on quite a few of the podcasts. The lies are so absurd. Listen to me. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. The lies are so absurd that they are not trying to convince us, but rather they're sending signals. They're sending signals and showing the elites how far they will go to cover up for them and how safe they really are due to our government's power of cover-up. I hope everybody understood what I just said. Because according to one report, there are millions of pages of unreleased evidence. And folks, this isn't just about child porn. It goes on and on. So I've got to tell you, this government cover-up is showing them that the high corruption is okay because they can control the narrative, and the elite are far above we the people, and that we have no power to touch them.
Interesting.
Let me wrap. I'll tell you what, we're going to have to go to a second episode on this, but let me wrap up with just a few items here. It says that the Justice Department and the White House knows that there are millions of Epstein-related documents that are still in existence. Part of the response has so far been to characterize the remaining documents as all being related to child porn. But that's not true. What the public is seeking is documents and evidence about Epstein, where his wealth came from, who aided his criminal and espionage enterprise, who was being blackmailed, and who covered it up. Plenty of public evidence could give the DOJ cause to file a criminal investigation into the child abusers linked to Epstein to find the clients, uncover more evidence, and get prosecutions. It is worth noting, this report says, that it was then Bill Barr Department of Justice that had custody of the Epstein files when he died under extreme suspicious circumstances in the first place. With Barr, whose father had first employed Epstein, declaring the Epstein killed himself. There's enough material there, folks, that it is just not child pornography and graphic things. There's a lot that is covered up here. And there is no evidence. A lot of these reports say there really is no evidence of an exhaustive investigation that has occurred to this day. The public wants to see prosecutions of powerful and elite politicians, businessmen, and others who went to Epstein's Little St. John Island, that engaged in sex with underage teens and children, and these criminals are apparently beyond the reach of the law. So I've got to tell you, the lies, the sealing the documents, nothing to see here. Why can't people just move on and get over the Epstein case? All of that, ladies and gentlemen, to me is simply a signal to the elites around the world that the government has seized such great power over us that they control the narrative and cover up to the max for the elite. It's a signal, Randy. They're showing them. Now, let me close up. I'll wrap up this segment with this, and we'll come back for part 2 on the next episode. I believe that they're showing they will protect them at all cost. All the elites have been implicated, and Randy, we're talking government officials, financiers.
Oh, I bet.
Royalty.
Yep.
Huh?
Yep.
Don't forget that.
I know it.
Religious leaders.
Yep.
Hollywood actors and directors.
Sure.
We're talking about people like Bill Clinton, Bill Gates, Tom Hanks, Oprah Winfrey, and the list can go on and on. However, us peons, we the people, are powerless to do anything about it.
Wow.
Folks, I'm going to end on that note, but I hope you'll come back and be with us for episode 2 on JFK 2.0, the Epstein Files.
Wow.